dear, shall be too late for a very important date. I'm trying to say hello. I'm late. Oh, my ears and whispers, how late it's getting.
Wait, can you tell me where I am? Wait for me.
Locked.
Locked.
Oh, locked. How will I ever get out again?
Look at me, I know I'll go on key.
It might belong to one of the doors.
Aw, she's a smart one. Wish I'd thought of that.
What a clever ducky she is.
No.
No.
Nope. The locks are too large, or the key is too small.
Look at me. I make the golden key.
Another door. I didn't see that one before. It fits. It's the loveliest garden I ever saw. Beds of bright flowers and cool fountains. My head wouldn't even make it through the doorway. And even if my head could go through, it would be of very little use without my shoulders. Or how I wish I could shut up like a telescope.
Drink me.
What's that?
Drink me.
Well, it is all very well to say drink me. I'm not going to do that in a moment. If you drink much from a bottle marked poison, it is certainly to disagree with you sooner or later.
Drink me.
However, this bottle is not marked poison. Oh, how nice! Cherry tart, custard, pineapple, roast turkey, toffee, and hot buttered toast. I must be shutting up like a telescope. Now I can go into that garden.
Look at me, I know I'll go on key.
I forgot the key. Come. There's no use in crying like that. I advise you to leave off this minute.
Eat me.
This is a very curious place.
Eat me.
Well, I'll eat it. And if it makes me go larger, I can reach the key. And if it makes me go smaller, I can creep under the doorway. Either way, I'll get into that garden, and I don't care which happens. Curiouser. I must be opening up like the largest telescope that ever was. Goodbye, feet. Oh, my poor little feet. I want to go put on your shoes and stockings now, dear. I know I shan't be able. I shall be a great deal too far off to trouble myself without you. You must manage the best way you can. Oh dear, what nonsense I'm talking.
Oh, the Duchess, won't you savage if I kept her waiting?
If you please, sir. Wait! I wonder if I've been changed tonight. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? For I know I can't be Ada. Her hair goes in such long ringlets, and mine doesn't go in ringlets at all. And I'm sure I can't be Mabel, for I know all sorts of things, and she knows very little. Besides, she is she, and I'm I, and I'll try to see if I know all the things I used to. Let me see. 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is 12, and 4 times 8 is... I shall never get to 20 at this rate. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome... No, that's all wrong. I'm certain I must have been changed for Mabel. How can I have done that? I must be going small again.
The fan!
The fan! That was an arrow skating. And now for the garden. I've been changed several times since then.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
I'm afraid I can't explain myself, sir. For I'm not myself, you see?
I do not see.
I'm afraid I can't put it more clearly, for I can't understand myself to begin with. Being so many different sides of me is very confusing.
Who are you?
I think you ought to tell me you at first.
Why? Wait, come back. There's something very important to tell you. Keep your temper.
Is that all?
No, you think you're changed, do you?
I'm afraid, sir. I can't remember things as I used, and I don't keep the same size for 30 minutes together.
What size do you want to be?
Oh, I'm not particular to size. You know, only one doesn't like changing so often.
Are you content now?
I should like to be a little larger, sir, if you wouldn't mind. 3 inches is such a wretched height to be.
It's a very good height indeed.
But I'm not used to it.
One side will make you go taller, the other side will make you go shorter.
One side of what? The other side of what?
Of the mushroom.
And which is which? Whoa!
Serpent!
I'm not a serpent. Let me alone.
A serpent, I see it again.
I haven't the least idea what you're talking about.
As if it wasn't trouble enough hatching these eggs, I must be on the lookout for serpents night and day. I haven't had a wink of sleep these 3 nights.
Sorry you've been annoyed.
And just as I take it to the highest tree in the wood, and just as I was thinking I should be free of them at last, they need to come moving down from the sky. Serpents!
I'm not a serpent, I tell you. I'm a...
Well, what are you? I can see you're trying to invent something.
I'm a little girl.
A likely story. I've seen a good many little girls in my time, but never one with such a neck as yours. No, you're a serpent, and there's no use in denying it. I suppose next you'll be telling me you've never tasted an egg.
I have. But little girls eat eggs quite as much as serpents, you know.
I don't believe it. And what does it matter to me whether you're a little girl or a serpent?
It matters a great deal to me. But I'm not looking for eggs, and if I was, I shouldn't want yours. I don't like them wrong.
Well, be off with you then.
Eat the mushroom! Eat the mushroom!
The mushroom! I almost forgot! Now that I'm back to my right size, the next thing is to get into that garden. How is that to be done, I wonder? Whoever lives there?
For the Duchess, an invitation from the Queen to play croquet.
For the Duchess, an invitation from the Queen to play croquet.
From the Queen, an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet.
From the Queen, an invitation for the Duchess to play croquet.
Thank you. There's no use in knocking, and that is for 2 reasons. First, because I'm on the same side of the door as you are. Secondly, because they're making such a noise inside, no one could possibly hear you.
How am I to get in?
There might be some sense in your knocking if we had the door between us. For instance, if you were inside, you might knock and I could let you out, you know?
How am I to get in?
I shall sit here till tomorrow, or next day maybe. I shall sit here on and off for days and days.
But what am I to do?
Anything you like.
Would you tell me, why does your cat in like that?
It's a Cheshire cat, and that's why. Pig! Pig!
I didn't know Cheshire cats always grin. In fact, I didn't know cats could grin.
They all can. Most of them do.
I don't know of any that do.
You don't know much, and that's a fact.
Oh, please, mind what you're doing.
If everyone minded their own business, the world will go around a deal faster than it already does. Speak roughly to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes. He only does it to annoy because he knows he teases. I speak severely to my boy. I beat him when he sneezes, so he can thoroughly enjoy the pepper when he pleases. Here, clean your stick if you like. I must make it right to play croquet with the Queen.
If I don't take this child away with me, they're sure to kill him the next day or two.
That depends a great deal on where you want to get to.
I don't much care where.
Then it doesn't matter which way you go.
So long as I get somewhere.
Oh, you're sure to do that, so long as you walk long enough.
What sort of people live out here?
In that direction lives a Hare, and in that direction lives a March Hare. Visit either you like, they're both mad.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that, we're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad.
How do you know I'm mad?
You must be, or you wouldn't have come. Do you play croquet with the queen today?
I should like it very much, but I haven't been invited yet.
You'll see me there. By the by, what became of that baby? I'd nearly forgotten to ask.
It turned to a pig.
I thought it would.
I've seen hatters before. The March Hare would be much more interesting. And perhaps, as this is May, it won't be as big as that. At least, not so mad as it was in March.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at.
No!
No room! No room! No room!
There's plenty of room.
Have some wine.
I don't see any wine.
There isn't any.
Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer.
Well, it wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited.
This table is laid out for a great many more than 3.
Your hair wants cutting.
You should learn not to make personal remarks. It is very rude.
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
I believe I can guess that.
Do you mean that you think you know the answer to it?
Exactly so.
Then you should say what you mean.
I do, at least. At least I mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know.
Not the same thing a bit. You might just as well say that. I see what I eat. It's the same thing as I eat what I see.
You might as well say as I like what I get. It's the same thing as I get what I like.
You might as well say that I breathe when I sleep. It's the same thing as I sleep when I breathe.
It is the same thing with you. What day of the month is it?
The 4th.
2 days wrong. I told you butter wouldn't suit the works.
It was the best butter.
Yes, but some crowns must have gotten as well. You shouldn't have put it in with a bread knife.
It was the best butter, you know?
But a funny watch. It says the day of the month, but it doesn't tell you what o'clock it is.
Why should it? Does your watch tell you what year it is?
Of course not, but that's because it stays the same year for such a long time together.
Which is just the case with mine.
I don't quite understand you.
The Dormouse is asleep again.
It's just when I was going to work myself.
Have you guessed a riddle yet?
No, I give it up. What's the answer?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Nor I.
I think you should do something better with the time than waste it asking riddles that have no answers.
If you knew time as well as I do, you wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's a hymn.
I don't understand you.
Of course you don't. I dare say you never even spoke to time.
Perhaps not, but that's because I know how to beat time when I learn music.
That accounts for it. He won't stand beating. Now, if you only kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you like with the clock. For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning, just time to begin lessons. You'd only have to whisper a hint to time, and round goes the clock in a twinkling. 1:30, time for dinner.
I only wish it were.
That would be grand, certainly, but then I shouldn't be hungry for it, you know?
Not at first, perhaps, but you could keep it to 1:30 as long as you liked.
Is that the way you manage?
Not I. We quarreled as much, just before he went mad, you know. It was at a great concert. and I had to sing. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. You know the song, perhaps?
I've heard something like it.
Well, it goes on, you know, in this way. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle.
Twinkle, 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 twinkle.
Well, I'd hardly finished the first verse when the queen jumped up and bawled out, "He's murdered in the time! Off with his head!"
How dreadfully savage.
And ever since that, he won't do a thing I'd ask. It's always 6 o'clock now.
Is that the reason so many tea things are laid out here?
It's always tea time, and we've no time to wash the things between whiles.
So you keep moving around, I suppose?
Exactly so, as the things get used up.
How about the young lady tell us a story?
I'm afraid I don't know one.
Then the Dormouse shall. Wake up, Dormouse!
I was asleep. I heard every word you fellows were saying.
Tell us a story.
Yes, please do.
And be quick about it, or you'll be asleep again before it's done.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters, and their names were Elsie, Lacey, and Tilly, and they lived at the bottom of a well.
What did they live on?
They lived on treacle,
They couldn't have done that, you know. They'd have been ill.
so they were very ill.
Take some more tea.
I've had nothing yet. I can't take more.
You mean you can't take less? It's very easy to take more than nothing.
No one asked your opinion?
Who's making personal remarks now?
Why did they live at the bottom of the well?
It was a treacle well.
There's no such thing.
Well, if you can't be civil, you'd best finish the story for yourself.
No, no, no. Please go on. I promise I won't interrupt again.
I want a clean cup. Let's all move on, please on.
This is the stupidest tea party I ever was at in all my life.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at.
Look out now, 5. Don't go splashing paint over me like that.
I can't help it. 7 jacked my elbow.
That's right, 5. Always lay the blame on others.
I shouldn't hear you talk. I heard the queen say only yesterday you deserved to be beheaded.
What for?
That's none of your business, too.
Oh, yes, it is his business. Those were bringing the cooked tulip roots instead of onions.
Well, of all the unjust things.
Would you tell me why are you painting those roses? What are you doing?
Oh my goodness gracious. I just lost a year of my life. Nearly became a 4.
Why, you see this? This ought to have been a red rose tree, but we put a white one in by mistake. And if the queen was to find out, we should have all our heads cut off, you know. So, you see, miss, we're doing our best to fix it before she comes to.
What's this? Idiot! What is your name, child? My name is Alice, so please, Your Majesty. And who are these? How should I know? It's no business of mine. Off with her head! Off! Nonsense! Do you play croquet? Yes. Come on, then. But this is a flamingo, and the balls are hedgehogs. Of course they are. How else are we supposed to play?
how are you getting on?
I don't think they play fairly at all, and they don't seem to have any rules in particular. At least, if there are any, nobody tends to them.
How do you like the queen?
Not at all. She's so extremely likely to win. It's hardly worthwhile finishing the game.
The trial's about to begin.
The trial! The trial!
Carrol, read the accusation.
The Queen of Hearts. She made some tarts. All on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole those tarts and took them quite away.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, not yet. There's a great deal to come before that.
Call the first witness. First witness!
I beg pardon, Your Majesty, for bringing this in. But I hadn't quite finished my tea when I was sent for.
You ought to have finished. When did you begin?
14th of March, I think it was.
15.
16.
Write that down. Take off your hat.
It isn't mine.
Stolen!
I'm none of my own. I keep them to sell. I'm a hatter.
Give your evidence and don't be nervous or have you executed on the spot.
I'm just a poor man, Your Majesty. And I hadn't begun my tea. Not above a week or so. And what with the bread and butter getting so thin and the drinking of the tea?
The twinkling of the what?
It began with the tea.
Of course twinkling begins with the T. Do you take me for a dunce? Go on.
I'm just a poor man, Your Majesty. And most things twinkled after that. Only the Marchess.
I did not.
I deny it. Leave out that part.
Well, at any rate, the Dormouse said,
Jingle.
Write that down.
I'm just a poor man, Your Majesty. And after that, I got some more bread and butter. I'm a poor man, Your Majesty. I'm just a poor man.
You're a very poor speaker.
Well, if that's all you know, then you may stand down.
I can't go no longer. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down.
I'd rather finish my tea.
Call the next witness.
Call the next witness. Your Majesty, you must cross-examine this witness.
Well, if I must, I must. What are tarts made of?
Pepper, mostly jingle.
Collar that Dormouse! Behead that Dormouse! Turn that Dormouse out of court! Suppress him! Pigeon off with his whiskers!
Call the next witness. Really, my dear, you must cross-examine this witness, as it quite makes my forehead ache.
Well, I'm very curious to see what the next witness would be like, for they haven't got much of anything yet.
The next witness is Alice.
Here,
What do you know about this business?
nothing,
Nothing whatever?
nothing, whatever.
That's very important.
Unimportant, Your Majesty, please, of course.
Important, unimportant, important, unimportant. Silence! Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high must leave the court.
I'm not a mile high.
You are.
Nearly 2 miles high.
Well, I shan't go. At any rate. Besides, that's not a regular rule. You invented it just now.
It's the oldest rule in the book.
Then it ought to be number 1.
Consider your verdict.
Not yet, not yet. There's more to come yet. Please, Your Majesty, this paper has just been picked up.
What's in it?
I haven't opened it yet. It seems to be a letter written from a prisoner to somebody.
It has to have been that. Unless it was written to nobody, which isn't usual, you know.
It isn't a letter after all, it's a set of verses.
Is it in the prisoner's handwriting?
No, it is not.
Then he must have imitated somebody else's hand.
Please, Your Majesty, I didn't write it, and they can't prove I did. There's no name signed at the end.
If there's no name signed at the end, that only makes the matters worse, as you must have meant some mischief, or else you'd signed your name like an honest man.
Oh, clever, clever.
Very clever.
That proves his guilt.
Proves nothing of the sort. Why, you don't even know what they're about.
Read them.
Where would you like me to begin?
Begin at the beginning, then go on till you come to the end, then stop.
They told me you had been to her and mentioned me to him. She gave me a good character, but said I could not swim.
Mention me to him. Said I couldn't swim.
He sent me word I had not gone. We know this to be true. If she should push the matter on, what would become of you?
We know this to be true. What would become of you?
My notion was, before you had this fit, the obstacle that came between him, ourselves, and it.
Before she had this fit, him, ourselves, and it. Him, ourselves, and it?
That's the most important piece of evidence we've heard yet.
Well, if any of them can explain it, I don't believe there's an atom of meaning in it.
Oh, there's an atom of meaning in it.
Well, if there's no meaning to it, then that saves us a world of trouble, as we needn't try to find it. Now, let the jury consider their verdict.
No, sentence first, verdict afterwards.
Stuff and nonsense. The idea of